You are in for a real treat. This episode was originally recorded for my other podcast, but for you, it's been upgraded and transformed, and now you have the Ask the Pro show. So everything mentioned in this episode will now be found on chrisdufay.com, plus so much more, as I've designed the Ask the Pro podcast and chrisdufay.com to give you exactly what you need to grow your business success and for you to have the money, the freedom, and the happiness you want, making a bigger and better impact to the world unselfishly. So now it's time to delve straight into this episode, and I want you to lap up and enjoy every single second of it. The amazing, fantastic, vivacious, and very smart, successful Rachel Guy, thank you so much for coming on to the Turning Pro Academy podcast. I am pumped to have you here because you are making waves in the fitness industry. You are busting down doors, and I know the listener is going to be just taking in nuggets of wisdom from you.
Chris, every time I chat to you, you either make me blush or you make me sort of kind of puff up my chest and then go, oh shit, like I'm just a girl.
You are not just a girl.
I'm not the superhero you make me out to be, but thank you for that very colourful introduction.
Good. It's all good. That's what I'm here for. All right. So, Rachel, before we kind of delve into the questions that I've got ready to rock and roll with you, just for the listener, let's talk about you. Why are you so phenomenal? Who are you? What have you done?
Well, like I said, I'm just a girl. I guess I've got to where I've got to in the fitness industry. I've been lifting weights since I was 13 years old. I'm now 31, so I've obviously been in the game for a long time. I've been, my background's in physiotherapy, and I started working in the fitness industry when I was very young. So I've actually been a Fit Pro for now 13 years. And one thing that has, I guess, really stood out, I've never pretended to be somebody that I'm not. I've ruffled many feathers in my time. I started posting videos of me lifting weights well before, the time where it was cool to do so. And some people liked it, some people didn't. And I guess it's really just stuck from there, just being myself, and certainly having a very opinionated voice, and not trying to be somebody else. And I think the other thing would be just really caring about the results that you get with people and trying to help as many people as you can within reason.
I think that's great. And you've kind of already touched upon it, but my first question that I was going to go straight off the cab rank was, what do you think the critical steps were looking back from now that have gotten you to the success that you have now?
Well, like I said, I guess industry experience would be one of them. Being authentic would be another. I definitely think the graft and the grind in the early days, or God, even now, is just essential. I think there's no fast track. A lot of people see what I do online and think, oh, it's so glamorous, and you get to travel the world, and you know what? I do live my dream. I have a fantastic lifestyle, I have a fantastic career, but people don't see the long hard work that goes on behind it, and still now. And in the early days it was different. I was running 60, 70 hours of personal training and working with a lot of different people, and your worst clients are actually your best clients, because they're the ones that you learn from. And then, and more so now, it's, I guess, learning new systems and trying to manage people and trying to make sure that everything gets done. Because essentially, if something doesn't go right in my business, it's all my fault.
Yes.
Because I haven't trained my staff properly, or it's because something has fallen through the net. And, the responsibility just creeps up and up and up every year. And it doesn't get easier, it just gets different.
It's really funny that you said that, because we were just talking about before we hit record for this one, the importance of taking responsibility.
Absolutely, taking responsibility. And, I think hard work now, you have to work hard and you have to work smart, and there is no shortcut to it. Don't think that you're going to climb to the top on working just 25 hours a week or 4 hours a week. I love Tim Ferriss's stuff, a 4-hour work week, but the reality is it's not like that.
He doesn't work 4 hours a week.
He doesn't work 4 hours a week. He might work 4 hours a week on a particular part of his business.
It was a really good point that you brought up, Rachel, and I think this is something I've been kind of like personally pondering on with a couple of people that have asked questions lately, and from a few different aspects, was you talked about the grind when you first started, and you kind of like jokingly said, and now. And I think it's really funny because you have to learn how to work hard. And I think it's instilling those habits and behaviors that's so important for when you actually do start, for when you have to get things off the ground. And that just continues on now. And that's why I think the success, the businesses, they continue to grow for us at a faster rate. And it's like the steps are bigger now because we just naturally do the work. It's because someone asked me before, like, it's like, whoa, you're so motivated to always like train and eat well and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't even think about it. Like it's habit. Do you know what I mean? Like I train every day and I eat this way, like every day. Like, yeah, of course, like I change my diet depending on the goal that I'm going for, but it's just like, you just do it. And I think that's so important and needed for the business world.
That's a really, really valid point. And yeah, that should be on a Fit Pro podcast as well, I'm sure. But, what we do, I guess, as health professionals, the eating and the nutrition and the training side of things is really just autopilot for us. It might be really hard for somebody else, but to us, it's purely autopilot. And then the business side of it, that's, I guess, our graft and grind. Whereas, for somebody else, if I look at one of my clients, she's a lawyer, so she's obviously exceptionally good at what she does. But then her graft and grind is currently the nutrition and the training side of things. So it's that was an interesting point you just made.
It just kind of came to me, and I think it's just like I wake up, do you know what I mean, at 5 a.m. and I do my morning ritual and I walk down and I start my work, and that's what I do. And it's just, and I know that's exactly how you work, because before we record, we were laughing about how we were so similar, because you had like literally planned the next 3 weeks, hour by hour, what you needed to achieve by. And it was just like, it's just what we do.
Oh, like honestly, people, I mentioned that to somebody else and he goes, gosh, you're a bit obsessed, aren't you? And I was like, okay, you're clearly not in my inner circle.
Okay. Now, what do you think, with the experience that you've got now, and obviously working between and seeing so many other gyms as well with the work that you're doing at the moment, what do you think the common mistakes are trainers make when wanting to build their careers?
Ooh, tough one. There's a few, and it depends on who we're talking about. So I guess the first one would be trying to do everything all too soon. Trying to, just coming straight out of Fit Pro school, doing your Cert 3 and Cert 4, and then having, wanting a full online business, basically a multi-six-figure business straight away. It does not work like that. Yep. You have to pick one thing. Just pick one thing that you're going to get really, really good at, and practice that one thing for 2 to 5 years and get really good at it and really confident. And it may be training women. It may be training guys. It may be hypertrophy development. It may be fat loss. It may be, something like that. It's something that gives you a name in that is your expert thing. That is what you're good at. You could be the boot camp king. I don't care what it is. Like, make that thing your one thing. That would be the first thing, to make sure that people don't expect too much too soon. Again, we're coming back to expectations. It's like starting any new business. The one thing, it's really important to actually, I think Paul Mort said once, I can't remember what he quoted it as, but he said something around the lines of, I can't remember. Basically, you can't sell a shit product more than once. So
you can only sell shit once.
You can only sell shit once, yeah. Like, I'm sure his was even more crude than that. Knowing Paul Mort. But that's true. Like, you have to produce results continually and always, actually. And if you're not getting results for somebody, you have to question why. So that would be the first thing. To repeat the question to me again. I've had a brain fart. I can't remember the
common mistakes trainers are making when trying to build their careers.
Yes, trying to be perfect to everybody. So, you're a new trainer, you're hungry for business, you go into a gym, and the reality is you know what, you're going to have to train everybody, because that's how you learn. So, expect the first year to 18 months where you're going to train guys, you're going to train girls, you're going to train fat loss, you're going to train for hypertrophy, you're going to train and you're going to dabble in all of these areas. But when you're sort of 18 months to 2 years plus in the industry, you should really be starting to kind of narrow down where you're looking to go and what you love doing. So that would be my second point. Third point. God, it's hard to say now. I haven't been in with new trainers for so long.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in a split with so much more for you. Now, I know you're listening and tuning in because you know how important your health is and how this can also catapult your business. This is why I'm very happy to say that this podcast is sponsored by My Body Blends and my favorite, the Superfood Elixir, the powerful greens drink. Now, this is designed specially to boost energy, aids detoxification, enhances the ability to burn fat, supports healthy carbohydrate metabolism, and best of all, is voted best tasting greens drink. Now, myself and the My Body Blends team are looking for ambassadors to join, so you and your clients get the health benefits plus adding in a strong income stream for you and your business. The ambassador program, which is by application only, means you get exclusive access to sell My Body Blends products like Superfood Elixir to your clients, plus giving you the special ambassador pricing and bonuses. So once you become an ambassador, you can join the other top health and fitness players that are adding thousands to their week's income. Now, there is only a limited number of ambassadors we are taking on board, as this is a tribe leading the way together. So to apply and to join, go to mybodyblend.com/ambassador or add the checkout code that is Turning Pro, all one word, when you're going to get your own Superfood Elixir to order. Plus, you're going to get free shipping and a bonus to save yourself over $250 instantly. So just use that coupon code Turning Pro in the checkout and you can save over $250 right now, all on mybodyblend.com. All right, I tell you what, let's maybe change angle slightly. What do you think, because obviously we both work very much in the online space now, what do you think the common mistakes are when other trainers are trying to build their online business?
So, oh God, where can I start? Okay, first thing is be selling themselves short. So obviously with so many programs and online training available out there nowadays, it's not being about the cheapest price. It's about the quality of the product. So make sure that you've got a damn good quality product, and selling less is more. So that would be the first thing that I would suggest. The second thing would be, again, make sure you give out really good content. You can't expect people just to buy your stuff. Again, I'm going to use something that I was listening to on Paul Mort's podcast. He's so funny. Maybe it's a British thing. I don't know. He goes like, you don't expect to go up to a chick in a bar and just, say, let me take you home right now. I could elaborate, but I won't. You kind of have to do the groundwork in the middle. So you meet your chick at the bar, you have to buy her a drink, you have to have a bit of small talk with her, you have to prove that you're a nice, handsome gentleman and you could be trusted. And the same thing in personal training and online training. You can't just, I don't care how fantastic your product is and all bells and whistles it is, you can't just shove it down somebody's throat on email or, through a squeeze page and saying, buy my shit because it's awesome. The reality is that, quite frankly, no one gives a fuck.
Yes.
So you've really got to prove yourself, and you really have to be that nice gentleman at the bar that's going to buy your customer a drink. You're going to show them how much they can trust you. You have to show them why they should work with you. And on the flip side of that, I will also say that you have to be selective about who you work with again. So you don't want to work with energy vampires. So, if you are running one-on-one consulting programs, make sure that there's an application process and that you're happy to take this person on. So, when you're building trust and you're building a relationship with an online client, that means giving away sometimes your best content. So making sure that you've got a great opt-in offer and an ebook up front, and that will contain your best stuff. Make sure that you have videos which have you talking to camera, which are genuinely you. Don't try and be somebody that you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, some of my best-selling videos I've recorded in a Jack Wills grey hoodie with no makeup on. And the reality is that people like to see that because I'm not the airbrushed Barbie doll that people also see on my website.
Yep.
So, whereas there's sometimes a little bit of a disconnect there. People go to my website, but then they're sent to a squeeze page where it's the complete opposite. Obviously, it's still me, but it's the real me.
And I think that's so important.
Yeah, like you've got to have the two. You've got to really show who you really are.
There's a couple things that just like grind my bones with so many people, but also I just really want to help other trainers be able to do. And you've touched on so many of those. And one was like, earn your chops. You have to absolutely get experience first. You have to actually achieve things and be able to have the knowledge, the insights, and to be able to give the right advice and guidance to be able to create those products, the programs, the coaching, the mentoring, whatever it is, that route that you want to be able to go down. And at the same time, be yourself. Like, everyone's unique in their own way and absolutely unique. You need that kind of like the marketing mumbo jumbo calls it, that USP, the unique selling proposition, but be you. Do you know what I mean? Don't try and be somebody else, but don't try and be a fake. Like, that's just something you kind of see someone online and stuff like that, and then you meet them in person and you're just like, what was that all about? Like, and I'm just like, and they're just gone to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I won't want to do business with them. Like, but it's just not cool.
I 100% agree. There's so many people who I've met online, and you meet them face to face in person, and it's quite a shock to the system. You're like, wow, you're not really who I thought you were.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I had a blessing in disguise happen to me in February this year, where my private Facebook profile actually got deleted and turned into a page. And, my first reaction was I was gutted, because obviously I've been on Facebook since it started, like 8 or 9 years ago. And I live overseas. All my girlfriends who I grew up with from school, I'm obviously no longer in contact with them. A lot of them have got married, so I can't recontact them because I don't know what their married names are. Anyway, the plus side of it was that it was like, getting rid of dirty laundry. Like, there were people on my list who, like, I just, that they're there.
Yeah.
You wanted to get rid of them, and they were kind of like energy vampires, but it was kind of a bit politically incorrect to just ban them and get rid of them.
The universe did it for you.
Yeah, it did it for me. So now I can filter who's on my list, which is great.
Good. No, I think it's so important. I think it's great. Now, obviously, creating freedom and lifestyle is so important, and I know it's important for you, which is fantastic. I think that's why we get along so well, because it's important for me. Like, you're going on holidays, like you're going away at the point of this recording in 2 weeks.
I am, yes. I'm heading off to Marbella in Spain for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to be in the UK for a couple of days, running a seminar over there, and then they'll be coming home. So
see, exactly right. Like, how phenomenal is that? Like, I'm in August, I get to go to Marbella in Spain. Do you know what I mean? I was just back in Australia on the Gold Coast for 4 weeks. Having that luxury and being able to live anywhere in the world is fantastic. And I think so many people miss that. Like, we even got to, when I was living in Dubai, you came over, we got to be able to get together there. That's phenomenal. Like, that's what I think for us, that's what we want to be able to create from our businesses. They're like, the businesses, do you know what I mean, feed the life that we want to live. Why has that come about for you?
For me, it was really important. Obviously I'm Welsh, and I'm living in Australia, and my family now live in the Middle East, so between Abu Dhabi and Dubai. So that's my second home now. So for me, it was really important to be able to travel, and I've always said that all along. I've never bought property in Australia because I've never really, it's not that I haven't felt settled here, like this is home, but it's never, like, I knew that I wasn't always going to just be in one place. I've kind of known that from a very, very long time, but I haven't been able to verbalize it. And I think it's only been in the past 2 years that I've really said to myself, well, actually, I want to live in multiple places at once. I'll always have a base, but I will be living in multiple places. And for family reasons, basically. And I have like this insatiable desire to travel and see new places, and I think that that's what drives me. And it's not about money, it's about the freedom and to be able to see and experience new things in new places and meet new people and help other people. Because every time I travel, do you find this as well, Chris, that every time you travel you come up with like the most amazing ideas because you're free from the day-to-day grind?
Yes, absolutely. It's like your brain is just unlocked.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'd wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I have these ridiculous ideas. And I'm like, seriously, I wish there was 3 of me because I'm sure I'd be a billionaire right now. Actually make that 6 of me because I need to do all of these things at once.
No, it's so true. And I think that's really important is I think you also need to be able to step outside of your bubble to be able to realize what's going on and to be able to reflect about what you've done. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a really important point for looking at the business aspect. Like I myself, I only ever look to 12 weeks ahead. I only ever plan 12 weeks ahead because, and you're probably the same, you never really know where you're going to be after 12 weeks or what opportunities are going to come about. Do you know what I mean? So if I plan the next quarter straight up, I know what actions I do. At the end, I'm taking a week off. I'm setting aside. We're going overseas. We're taking some time off. And I'm going to try and look back what worked, what didn't work, and what do I want now?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I set mine slightly differently, but I do actually work in quarters as well. So I basically sit down at the end of every year and I kind of look at my annual planning. So I basically put down a list of everything that I want to achieve over the next year. And it's a lot of the stuff on that list scares me. And it must scare you in order to be able to push you and to drive you. So I then sort of break down those annual priorities into quarterly priorities. So, for example, it may be that 1 to 4 things on that list may be in Q1. So quarter one, so that will be from January through to March. So everything on that list is in that section. I don't even look at my annual priorities if I'm in quarter one. I don't even care what's on the rest of the list. And as soon as you get those done, you move on to quarter two, and that's how you get so much done in such a short period of time.
Absolutely. Do you find people say that to you a lot of the time, Rachel? Like, have you done so much in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, you work fucking hard. That's how you do it.
Okay. Now, how...
Strategic planning.
Sorry, what were you saying?
With strategic planning, obviously.
Exactly right. That's the way we do it. Okay. So pretty much last question that is, what do you think is the important factors, the important steps for someone to create an online business and to build their brand the right way?
Okay. I guess we've already covered a lot of that. The first thing would be stop trying to please everybody and actually, I'm going to swear again here, stop giving a fuck what other people think. Seriously, stop caring what other people think, because the reality is, I can tell you now, the more successful you get, the more people are going to talk behind your back. Get used to it. Develop thick skin, stop caring, and just basically follow your own path and your own track, because there will be people who will attempt to sabotage your success along the way. There will be people who tell you that you're doing the wrong thing. There will be people who will tell you, oh, you're only in it for the money. The reality is that could not be further from the truth. It's actually, you have to develop thick skin, but it also, it is quite hurtful sometimes when you have people come back to you and say, oh, well, you charge too much. And, I think this, and this, because the reality is that most of us Fit Pros are in it because we want to help people. And we spend a lot of time behind the scenes trying to develop world-class, gold standard products. And when somebody doesn't understand the work that goes on behind it, it can unnerve you, it can upset you. So you've got to be prepared for that and just develop some really thick skin. That would be my first thing. The second thing is be authentic. We've talked about this before. You've got to be yourself and you've got to be real. Everybody else is taken, and quite frankly, you don't want to see another Rachel Carr. You don't want to see another Christopher, because it would be boring if there was two of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just want to see another personality. We want to see a different side. We want to see different colors. We want to see something different. It doesn't mean that the content has to be different, because the reality is that how many diets are out there? How many times can we teach people how to do a squat? The reality is that this stuff is pretty stock standard now. It's basically about your message and how you get that across. In terms of branding, make sure all of your branding is consistent. I would invest in getting some good branding done for your company quite early on, so that people can recognize it and associate with it, and make sure that branding is similar throughout your Facebook, your Twitter, your website, and everything looks very similar. I have particular images. I know you do too, Chris. I have particular images that I use to match
Yep.
different products.
Yep.
And so that people can associate with them, and they can associate a particular image with a certain product. So that's very important with branding. And be consistent. So, even if it's with Facebook, be consistent posting on Facebook every day. Be consistent with, I don't want to say be consistent with emails, because I can be a complete hypocrite here. I don't email daily. In fact, I don't email anywhere near enough than I should. We were talking about this before.
We were.
I should email more, but the reality is that sometimes it's one of those things. I just haven't got time in the day, and it takes a little more sometimes to put together an email than it does to just shoot something up on Facebook. But there we go. It's something that I'm particularly working on at the moment. So being consistent and just getting stuff out there consistently and with good content that you think that people are going to want to know about. And again, I ran a business consult earlier with a girl. She's absolutely beautiful, this chick. She's got gorgeous natural blonde hair. She's got a fantastic physique on her. I went on her Facebook page and there's no photos of her. Like there's these nice images of, kind of things that women like to see with all these quotes and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's not what I want to see. I want to see you. You are so attractive. You are such a nice person. I want to see you. I want to see photos of you. I want to see videos of you. I want to see you training clients. I want to see testimonials. I want to see before and after pictures. I want to see things. And I want to see, most importantly, before people buy your product, they will buy into you.
Yes.
So they need to trust you, and they need to love you before they love your product.
So true. You absolutely hit the nail on the head. Now, even because it's so important, I think this is you've planned this. You're a master planner. I love it.
No,
He's obviously talking about the branding and stuff like that. Yourself, Rachel Guy.
Yes.
Coming out, you have changed your branding. You are blossoming even further. Tell us more about it.
So, yeah, I mean, I've got a little bit of a shift and a little bit of a change. I guess a bit of an addition coming to my business and what I do. So, currently with Athletic Fox, I run 2 online products. The Athletic Fox Blueprint, which is, I guess, my flagship product, which is a long-term fat loss transformation program. It's a minimum 12-week commitment with ongoing. I mean, I've got some girls in it. I opened the program over a year ago. So I launched in March 2014. And I have some girls, a lot of girls actually still in the program. So the retention on that is really good. I have another program, which is called 21BBB, which is my rapid fat loss program, in order to be able to get ready for the beach, ballroom, or the bedroom. And that had come about because of demand. And I kind of listened to my girls and really what they were after. And, that was to match a demand in the market, that there were going to be women who were going to either reach for a detox product, such as, let's not even go there, or I was going to give them a solution which was according to my guidelines, which is why that product came about. It is unbelievably effective. It's even shocked me, the results that come out of that program. So those are my 2 online programs. I have purposely, I still do one-on-one training here in Sydney as well, just with a very small handful of clients. I've purposely moved away from the one-on-one consulting in order to be able to, I guess, automate and systemize my 2 online products so that I could help as many people as possible. Now, the exciting thing is that they are almost at the stage where I can step away from that and not have that as the main focus of my business anymore, because they're ticking along quite nicely. And I can probably spend 1 day a week on each of those to ensure that everything gets done that needs to get done on those products, which means that I have a little bit more time on my hands now in order to help other fitness professionals, just like you do. And more importantly, run a lot more seminars and retreats. And I'm going to say this is going to be geared towards females. It's not just towards females, but that's, I guess, where I've specialized over the past couple of years in training. All my male clients are going to shoot me an email now saying, why didn't you include me in this? But the new model of the business I'm just drafting out now, essentially it'll be, I'll be running high-end one-on-one consulting. So I have a lot of clients in the UK and in the Middle East who I work with on a one-on-one basis. And everything that I do with them, it's more than being just a trainer. You're a mentor to them in many ways. So you're kind of like a bit of a second opinion. You have to make sure that you're upskilled on current affairs, make sure that you know what's happening in the world of finance, make sure what's happening in world and current affairs. Because the reality is that when you're working on that level, you need to know these things. So you have to be reading what your clients are reading. You have to be doing what your clients are doing and essentially attending, functions and events that you think that your client might be attending as well, because you have to be able to converse and I guess work on that similar level. Absolutely. So that would be, that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing. And it's really important that, if you want to work on that elite level, you have to be able to talk on that level as well. It is, you're not going to be able to connect with a high-flying banker in London if all you're going to talk about is the macros in, your lunch, your dinner and training. Like, quite frankly, they don't give a shit.
It's so true. And I think that's so important to be able to talk the right language to the right people. And that's marketing at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So that's a new aspect of my business. I guess I'm bringing out, I'm almost reintroducing that because it's something that I did a long time ago before even Athletic Fox launched. So I'm bringing that back. And for the ladies, it's going to be pretty exciting because I'm going to start running seminars. So one-day seminars in cities, I guess, all around the world, and leading that into quarterly retreats. So be very exciting, be by application only, and be running retreats in Bali, in Europe, in the US, and a few other places in the world. Which
that's all good. It just cut out when you were talking about retreats. Like retreats in Bali, US. Yeah, go for it.
So I'm sorry, I just cut out there, so I'm not sure how far I got in. But so we'll be running a couple of retreats in Bali, the US, Europe, and a few other special locations that shall remain unnamed, basically because I haven't sorted them out yet.
That's awesome. It's secret because I don't know yet. That's great.
I mean, this obviously it's a big project. There's a lot of work that's going to need to go on behind it, and it'll be very exclusive. So this type of product is not going to suit everybody. I'm only looking to really work with people who really want to go to that next level and who are really prepared to make some quite serious lifestyle changes and be supported in it. But I will be having quite a stringent application process upon that because it is a high-end product. It's not going to be cheap. The value in it is going to be huge, and it is something that I'm really, really excited about. So it'll be all of me and all of my passion being poured into this. So I'm pretty pumped, pretty excited.
Awesome, because I'm definitely right behind it, and I'm going to make sure that I get this out into the world and help you, Rachel, because it's fantastic. And I think it's so important having that application process. That's exactly what I do with the Pro Circle, the high-end coaching that I do, the mastermind, is you actually have to earn your chops first to get on board. Like, if I don't see you putting in the effort and actually achieving the results, I will not ask you to come on board. And that's exactly what you're doing. And I think it's just the model in which it has to be when we're delivering such that high-end value.
Absolutely. You have to be able to work with people who you enjoy working with. And not only that, there's nothing worse than accepting somebody's money when people sometimes try to solve problems by throwing money at things, and that's not how the world works. Yes, you need to invest in order to be able to grow, but unless you're prepared to actually do the work, I'm going to give you a refund. I'm going to throw you out the program. I don't want to be associated with that.
Right on. Great way to finish. Now, Rachel, there are 2 questions I've got left for you. Super quick. I just want you to answer them straight off your tongue. First one, what is your definition of happiness?
I want to say something really spiritual and philosophical here, but I actually don't have one. I think this is sound cheesy as hell, living a dream, and I not wanting things any other way, and everything is perfectly imperfect the way it is right now, and understanding that happiness is a sense of, content at all times, even in the bad times. Yeah. Realizing that shit's not always going to go your way. There are going to be hard times, but those hard times teach you a lesson in order to be able to grow. So therefore you have to be happy in those times. And it's a sense of being content at all times and really not letting things get to you on a deeper level. I think that's, to me, what happiness is.
Awesome. I love it. One more. What are you grateful for today, Rachel?
Oh, what am I grateful for today? Oh, I'm really grateful today that I woke up, my antibiotics have kicked in, and I'm starting to feel a little more human. And I've been able to run a podcast with you because I've really missed you as a buddy.
Yeah.
And we should definitely connect more often. So
Definitely.
I'm really grateful to you, Chris. So thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
For just being you and just being such a legend in everything that you do, whether it's inspiring people to train harder because you look like a Greek god, or, or whether it's, helping somebody out in their business, or whether it's just helping somebody out in their mindset. And,
Thank you,
I know
Rachel.
that
I really appreciate that.
Fantastic husband to Lauren and a daddy to Arlo. So thank you for being you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Rachel. I'm super grateful for you, and you and I, we've got some special stuff up the sleeve because I know we're going to absolutely be crushing it coming on. But for this episode, thank you, Rachel. You are a superstar, and I know the listener is absolutely on their knees in thanks with everything that you have just dished out.
You are very welcome. Thank you for having me.
So now it's time for you to click on over to chrisdufay.com. That's chrisdufey.com to get all the guides and show notes. And if you are wanting the workshops where I walk you through how to build your online business, click on over to chrisdufay.com/start here. This is where I can give you the exact training guides and the workshops for exactly where you're at and the answers that you need. Now, every Friday I'm coming back to you with a new episode. So be sure to subscribe, and if you haven't already, you're going to be getting the world's best insights, the advice and the answers to give you the business, the money, the freedom and the success and happiness that you want. And I want to give you a huge muchas gracias for being here with me. And as always, get in touch with me via the site or via social, as Ask the Pro is about me giving you the answers that you need. So ask away.